Good afternoon, readers. We are here at Trinidad and Tobago High Commission. Thank you very much, Excellency, His Excellency Dr. Roger Gopaul, Trinidad and Tobago High Commissioner to India, for giving us an opportunity to conduct your interview or to know more about your country and culture and, most important, bilateral relations with India. So here we go. So shall we start with the first question, Ambassador?
We shall, but first let me say thank you, Ms. Julia, for conducting this interview and for your interest in Trinidad and Tobago, the wider Caribbean and Latin America. I think this is a very critical venture that you are undertaking, and I congratulate you on it. We first need to understand the history behind the indenture system that came from India. In Trinidad and Tobago, like many other countries around the globe, slavery was the main form of labor by the colonial rulers. And the slaves were mainly from, in my country, Western Africa. Now, in 1838, slavery was abolished, which meant that the African slaves left the plantations unattended, and there was now a need for labor, more so cheap labor. So that gave rise to the British Empire looking for labor that was now outside of their slave trade. And India was one of the main source of such labor. In 1845, the first ship left Calcutta to Trinidad and Tobago. And they landed in our country on the 30th of May, 1845. There was no division, there was no animosity between the descendants of the African slaves and the newly arrived Indians, simply because the land was already controlled by the British. And the slaves moved more towards the ports, and the indentured Indians were placed on the plantations to do their work. So you did not have a need or clash of cultures at that point in time, or at any point in time, as we will discuss further. So the answer to your question is that no, there was never that cultural clash, that animosity or that division between the descendants of the African slaves and the East Indians.
Thank you, Excellency. Very brief and crisp answer.
The world has changed, and 10 years ago can be a very long time ago. While it might be true that distance in the past limited the amount of trade between countries, that may not necessarily be so today. And because we have so many other platforms in which we can utilize. For instance, something such as the digital economy doesn't require shipment. So if we are looking at digital infrastructure, one can stay in Mumbai and do business in Trinidad and Tobago, in Guyana, in Jamaica, or any part of the Caribbean. Or if we are looking at, let's say, musical collaboration, again, there's no need for such tangible goods as before. So the nature of trade is no longer the same. And of course, there's always room for improvement. That is why India, in their wisdom, saw it fit to join with the CII in hosting a very critical conference that whose aim, whose objective is to identify business and investment opportunities in Trinidad and Tobago and the wider Latin American or Caribbean region. In so doing, We will have various stakeholders who will be coming from our region and Trinidad and Tobago in particular to interact, to engage with the main stakeholders in India so that we can address those issues of increasing trade, increasing foreign investments, and of course, increasing our business relations. So a lot is happening as we speak, and I'm happy to say that I do look forward to even greater things manifesting at the end of this conference.
Ambassador, now we come to, like, we're talking about trade, and in next 2 days we are going to witness this LATAM conclave here in Delhi. So what kind of delegation are you getting from your country, and what's their future, their requirement, what matter, their issues they are gonna bring it here?
Well, first of all, let me say that my country took this invitation very seriously. And we are very proud to say that we have a very strong delegation coming to India to participate in this conclave. We have members of our Ministry of Digital Transformation, our senior project manager. We have an associate professional also from the Ministry of Digital Transformation, as well as a senior digital transformation advisor. So they would look at areas of the digital economy that actually impact all aspects of the Trinidad and Tobago infrastructure and development. But in addition, we have the president of InvestTT, who will be spearheading the investment aspect of this conclave with a number of B2Bs already established for further discussions. And we also have a senior economist from the Ministry of Trade that will be joining this delegation as well. I am happy to say that as the High Commissioner for Trinidad and Tobago, I will be leading this delegation in this said conference.
So apart from digital, Ministry of Digitization, is there any other ministry coming from TNG to India?
Yes, so as I said, InvestTT is our main investment agency that represents the majority of investment that is outside of our energy sector. And we also have our senior economists from the Ministry of Trade itself that will be joining us during this conference. But the thing is, the Ministry of Digital Transformation impact all aspects of the Trinidad and Tobago economy. So they are a critical factor in this conference.
All right. Ambassador, I would like to know two more things. How your country is open to solar energy, renewable energy, with International Solar Alliance. And second, okay, first I would like to know from you this about the solar energy. Do you have already projects working with Exim Bank here, or are you gonna, your Minister of Economy or Trade, they're gonna talk on solar projects here?
So in terms of our commitment to solar energy, I'm happy to say that Trinidad and Tobago is a member of the International Alliance. And also we are very much committed to the development of green energy. In fact, if you look at Trinidad and Tobago and our location being a tropical nation, we experience sun almost 12 months for the year. So we have been moving steadfastly along with the development of a number of parks dedicated to green energy. But in addition, Trinidad and Tobago is an energy-based economy, and natural gas is one of our main products. And natural gas in itself is a viable product when it comes to cleaner energy for the world to use. And we have shown our commitment, and we do plan on continuing in this way.
Ambassador, now my next and very interesting question for our Indian readership who love to travel, who love to try different cuisine, and who are music lovers. And if I'm not wrong, Trinidad and Tobago has full of all these things. So what do you say on the tourism, food and drinks?
Well, let me put it this way. India loves spices. And Trinidad and Tobago holds the world record for one of the spiciest chilies known to man, and it is called the scorpion pepper. Trinidad and Tobago is known globally for its unique cuisine that is very specific to the Caribbean lifestyle that we have. And so therefore, if we look at our food and our drinks, we are a major destination in that regard. Let's talk about drinks. Our rum, known as Angostura rum. Everyone knows Caribbean rum, being some of the best rum in the world. So Trinidad and Tobago has positioned itself for being some of the best producers of rum. For instance, everyone will know about Trinidad and Tobago 1919 or Angostura or the bitters that we create to put in our drinks. Everyone knows about Trinidad and Tobago's punch and rum. So it has become part of our culture and our cultural offerings.
Nowadays, every country looking towards India to bring Indian travelers to their country. What's your plan from down to 5 years now from now? What's your strategy to promote Trinidad and Tobago tourism from India?
Well, there are certain things in Trinidad and Tobago that is very unique to not just the Caribbean, but the world that is outside of India. So for instance, in Trinidad and Tobago, we have the tallest Hanuman Murti outside of India, which is approximately 86 feet tall. In Trinidad and Tobago, we also have the only temple, mandir, built in the sea, not on the shore, in the sea.
Oh.
Trinidad and Tobago celebrates Diwali as it was celebrated in 1845, not with electric lights, but with deers throughout the entire country, with a week-long festival called the Diwali Nagar. It is something to see, it is something to behold. But not only that, Carnival, which is celebrated right after our Lenten period, which is before Easter. Carnival is one of the largest shows on earth. The entire country gets into its festive mood. We have persons from across the world who will descend on Trinidad and Tobago to participate in this carnival. Our music is known in every nook and cranny of this globe. It is called Calypso, or what we call the soul of Calypso, soca. In fact, I'll just say, last year, we had one of our biggest soca artists come into India and performing at Shivratri with Sadhguru. And what did he perform? He performed the music of Trinidad and Tobago. In fact, we also had our music featured in a number of Bollywood movies. So that is to give you an example of who we are as a people and our cultural offerings. So yes, come to Trinidad and Tobago. Whether it be spiritual tourism, whether it just be a vacation to enjoy the beaches or the food, we are the place to be.
Ambassador, we talk about business, culture, food, and how Indians are there, when did they go there. Now let's come towards, in nowadays, we are talking about serving to the society. Here, I would like being connected to the largest volunteer organization. It's called Rotary International, and other volunteer organizations who are working towards human welfare. And human welfare starts from the literacy. Any country development based on the literacy of their country. So my first question for this section on the serving society, what percentage in your country people are literate citizens?
So as we look at literacy rates in Trinidad and Tobago, since the foundation of our country in independence, it has been the objective of our first Prime Minister, Dr. Eric Williams, to promote education among our people. In fact, he said that the future of our children is in their book bags. That has been our mantra from since then, 1962 to present. I'm happy to say that our government achieved that objective. Our literacy rate today stands at 98.7%. It is one of the highest in the region and in the world. And it is because of that dedication to education and the development of our human capital. In fact, I can say that in our country, we provide free education from preschool, primary school, secondary school, and for those who are unable to afford, even at the tertiary level. You can go to our universities, even if you don't afford to. The government will find the means to do so for you. So because of that dedication, we have seen a high percentage of tertiary education participation rate. And as a result, we have a huge skill set that is ready for sectoral development.
So that means along with the education, your government is working with the youth skill development also.
Absolutely. We have a number of youth development programs that is not only based upon academia, but on vocational skills as well. We have programs that will develop our young people, whether it be in mechanics, whether it be in terms of construction, or whether it will be in terms of any other type of skill that is required for the benefit of our society, which is critically important. Because in Trinidad and Tobago, we look at the holistic development of a society, not just in one aspect of human capital development, but in all aspects of our people.
Right. On this, thank you very much, Excellency, for giving us your valuable time. We are signing off. I'm sitting at the Trinidad and Tobago High Commission's office, come country. As I mentioned in the beginning, when we are at any embassy or High Commission, we count ourselves that we are sitting in their country. So looking forward to see you soon and Trinidad and Tobago with lots of food. And yes, don't forget Angostura Rum if you're a lover of any drink. And they have a fantastic music which we are gonna share soon in our channel. And more information about Trinidad and Tobago coming soon. Stay tuned for more captivating interviews on our channel. We appreciate your viewership.